app should already be installed, and you'll have an icon that looks like this on your desktop. Double click on it to launch it. This is the application we'll be using to grade all the students. Make sure you change the school to MUIDS and then log in with your respective username and password. Once you're logged in, you should see the gradebook interface. So a quick introduction about this interface. On the top left-hand corner, you get the years or the dates. So over here, you will see all the previous classes or the previous years you've taught. One of the differences you'll notice is this year we don't have quarters, we only have semesters. So I'm selecting 2017 and 18, and within this year I have the 3 classes that I'm teaching, and every time I change the class, I get to see the list of the students who are taking that class. So the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about setting up categories. And categories are used to determine how a student will be graded based on different types of assessment in your classroom. So the bottom left-hand corner of the screen are where all your categories are, and this is the first thing that you should set up in Gradebook once you get in. Click the little plus icon to add a category. And once you're here, what you want to do is you want to give your category a name. Now, the naming is kind of important. I like to give my categories names that help me distinguish exactly when I'm using that category and what I'm using that category for. So I'm going to make a category called G10 17-18 Grade 10 for this year. And this category is going to be called projects. I need to give my category an abbreviation, so I'm just going to call it 17-18 Proj. I can select a new color for it if I'd like, and I'm gonna change how much weight this category has. So in this case, this specific category is going to have 35%. And you want to make sure to change your score type from points to percentage. Alright, so once I'm done with that, I'll leave all the other settings as it is. I can add a description of this category if I'd like to, and I'm going to press OK. Right, now you'd see that I have a category on the bottom left-hand corner, which is projects. This is the one that I just added right now. I've created 2 more categories previously, one called exam and one called participation. And one of the things that I need to make sure is all my categories for any specific class. For example, if I double click on projects, you can see my projects is set, the exams is set to 50%. Press OK. You can see my participation category is equal to 10%. And you're also going to see that my exams category is set to 35%. Now, there is an issue here. All right. The issue is that my categories don't add up to 100%. So what I'm going to need to do to fix this is I can either increase any one of these categories, and I'm going to increase my participation from 10 to 15 and press enter. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to set up the grades. How will the grades be calculated for each of these classes? And to do that, I'm going to go into grade setup once I've set up the categories. And you'll see that I have semester 1 and semester 2 with the respective dates for the semesters. So semester 1, you can see, starts on the 7th of August and it ends on the 31st of December. And semester 2 will start on the 1st of January of next year and end on the 6th of June. So each semester will be set up exactly the same way. What we want to do is we want to click this little button next to the semester and change it from whatever we have it to set to right now, which is total points, and select category weights. Now inside category weights, what you want to do is you want to click the add category, and you want to select the categories that you have just created for this year. See, when you have them named appropriately, it helps you distinguish the categories that you're going to use for this class in this particular year, which may be different from the previous categories that you've used. And that's why naming is important. Once you've clicked OK, you'll see over here, even though you've set the categories before, it's going to ask you to weight these categories separately, and you'd want to do exactly the same thing you did at the beginning all over again. So for example, my exams category was 50%. I'm going to write 50. My participation category had 35 weight, and my projects category had, my participation category had 15 as a weight, and my projects category had 35. And then what you should see here is the percentage goes 15, 50, 50, and 30, and this is selected for you. And you don't have to change the drop load, just leave it as it is, and make sure you hit save on the bottom right-hand corner. All right. So once you're done with that, what you want to do is you want to do exactly the same setup for semester 2. All right, categories, I'm going to do it really quickly. Add categories. The grades for semester 2 will be calculated in exactly the same way. And the exam, 50%, right? Participation, 15%. And projects, 35%. Right? Hit save, and you're done. So you have just done the grade setup for one of your classes. Now you may want a different grade setup for your other classes, or you may just want to keep it as is, as the same as this class that you've just set up. So you're going to need to go through your the way you've set this up and do the same thing for your other classes.